Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Chris.
And we are in the Simpson Desert in the Northern Territory, about to tackle day 4 on the Hay River track, which is going to be pretty amazing. We've still got a long journey ahead, but can't wait to see it all.
Bring on exploring the NT.
This morning is absolutely beautiful. A lot of clouds, but the pink glow is just stunning. And one thing that we're really surprised as well here, it's so much warmer. We had a much warmer night. Bowser started straight away this morning, didn't have to warm it up.
Fired straight up, air tanks are relatively full.
You can tell that we're getting higher as well. I think we're getting quite close to the Tropic of Capricorn. So yeah, we're definitely heading north and the temperature is rising. So that's nice to escape the cold winter very soon. Definitely getting a little bumpier right now. Reminds us a little bit of that last part on the Madigan line, which was constant whoop, and I actually got really car sick yesterday. So I'm really hoping this section is not going to be the same, because yeah, the rocking, it's like feeling, I guess this feeling you will have on the boat, just weird feeling. Not too sure why some sections are worse than others, but on the HEMA map it does say rough track on that section. So yeah, not too sure what to expect, but hopefully it's nothing too bad. Driver is not a big fan as well of the hoops.
Oh, I just don't like the back and... I don't like that. I don't like the back and forward. It feels like it's going to break something.
Fingers crossed, everything is fine.
Okay, so we are about 20 kilometers in on the Hay River track. We've just stopped on the side of the track to have pancakes, which Angie's made us, which were delicious. Now the hay so far has been much windier than the Madigan line was, and there are a lot of trees because we are in an old ancient riverbed, and I think these are a river gum. Had to chop one dead one to get it out of the way because we couldn't safely go around, and we navigated a couple of others. We also passed a very cool falcon who just sat there on a tree and checked us out. And there was a dodgy looking cloud bank that was rolling through this morning and seemed to be building, which was concerning, but that has now passed, so no chance of rain today. So we're going to pack back up and carry on. Okay, so now for this week's clue for the outfit's grand adventure hunt. Now if you missed out on that announcement, that was in the last video, so definitely watch that if you want the first of 3 clues for getting the prize. So the second clue is the prize is buried somewhere on the Madigan line, again in the Simpson Desert. Now we're going to make these 3 clues relatively simple and easy to guess, because getting to the Simpson Desert on its own is a big enough feat as it is. It's not exactly on your main tourist route. Some of our clues will make harder. Now we have decided as well, our patrons, to thank them for their ongoing awesome support, they will get 1 extra clue, so they will get 4 clues. But by no means is that going to mean for anyone not subscribed to us on Patreon, it will not mean that they cannot guess where the prize is. We're not going to make it like that at all. They will just get maybe a tiny bit more of a hand. So yeah, get to the Madigan line when you can, before the season shuts. Grab yourself that prize. A couple of really big branches up ahead, and just tried to spot me around a couple, but one of them I've got to go around, so we're just making our own path, which we've had to a few times now. This is a proper adventure now.
Alright, so still on the Hay River track, we just had lunch. We decided to put the window cover protection because it was getting a little bit scratchier here. Not as much big trees. It's definitely opening up, but now it's more like those trees that could just like scratch the window. So there's no point. We just installed them just in a few minutes. Chris did it by himself actually. Didn't even need my help. So that was really good. It went really well. So we're not too sure how we're going to drive today, but yeah, we just want to do a little bit more kilometers today just so that we can stay on track for 6-day itinerary. There's no chance, unfortunately, we're gonna make it under this tree. So there's 2 options to go around, this way or this way, but there's still this tree here. So we're opting for this option. What I'm looking is just some stake opportunities for the tires. So I'm just going first, a clear path. So far it's looking good. Yeah, so I just have to guide him through this bush. It's pretty much all like dead wood and trees and stuff. Yeah, no, that should be fine, and then we'll just go this way. Here we are, 80 kilometers later. We've decided to set up camp just right here. Not really an official campsite or anything. There's not actually that many on the Hay River track. But yeah, that will do for tonight. We were actually getting both a bit tired, especially Chris. That was a bit of a workout today, the track.
Yeah,
especially at the beginning, yeah.
Today wasn't real eventful or really as fun, but
yeah.
We ended up making some good progress towards the end. But there just wasn't a lot to film really. It's definitely not as beautiful as the Madigan line, for sure. The Hay River's not as beautiful so far. So yeah, we just put some miles down. Now we're gonna have a little fire, cook dinner, and do the exact same thing tomorrow. Good morning from the Simpson. It is day 5 and we are on the Hay River track.
Yeah, so last night we didn't end up cooking on the fire. It got way too windy, so we ended up going into the camper. I made us a nice chicken stir fry with noodles. It was delicious on induction. This morning we woke up and went on a training session outside, which was a very nice way to start the day. We have topped up a little bit more of the fuel with our auxiliary tank. And here we are, ready to have a big day of driving, I guess, today.
Big day driving,
a bit more than yesterday, but hopefully it should be a bit less windy. Like, we're looking at the map, like yesterday was just like the snake, basically. This looks a bit more straightforward, so fingers crossed.
So far doing really well on fuel. We haven't even used up the whole auxiliary tank, and our main tank is all the way up to full again. So, and we've still got the 2 jerry cans, so we're doing really well on diesel consumption.
Yeah.
Do not see that being an issue at all. Jervis is meant to be a really expensive fill up, so we'll try and do the bare minimum until we can get to Alice Springs, where it will be quite a bit cheaper than Jervis, and we'll fill up there. I did the routine maintenance checks on the MOG this morning during training, and everything is looking tickety-boo.
And after another 60 kilometers, we have made it to the Tropic of Capricorn with a very legit sign, as you can see. That was a pretty bumpy road at the very end. We got a bit of corrugation, but this morning started quite nicely actually. It was really green, like I took the drone in the air, and that was probably the most lush part of the Hay River, and maybe the most beautiful actually part. Then it became a little bit narrow again and scratchy, and then it opened up again. So we decided maybe it was time for me to jump on the driver's side and practice a bit driving the MOG, which I did. I drove over my first sand dune, which was really exciting for me. I was quite proud. Oh my god, there's actually a dune. What do I do?
A bit more accelerator.
I didn't expect it would be a little dune.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just having lunch here, and we'll probably carry on another 30 or 40 kilometers or so to our next campsite. Goodbye, Mr. Camel.
Thank you.
We're so happy we saw you finally.
Yes! I'm so stoked.
Good spotting.
All right, that has capped off the Simpson Desert expedition for the outfit. So chuffed. So chuffed. He did his weird like noise where they go brrr, and the sack comes out of their mouth that they inflate, and then it deflates and goes back in their mouth, but I didn't get it on film. But then it's so cool. little known fact about camels. There are more wild camels in Australia, especially around this area, than there are anywhere else in the world. They were introduced way back in the day and they just spread like wildfire. So there are tons of them. You can actually even legally hunt them for game, which is quite strange when you think about it, because that is such a massive animal just to be roaming around here in the outback. So we've had non-stop corrugations for the last 35 or so kilometers, but we're making about 25k an hour. So we've decided we're just going to keep pushing today, and we'll probably exit the Simpson this afternoon. I wanted to find one. I found half of the skull. It's gonna live right there. Yes! You ripper!
I've got the weirdest fiance. Oh my god.
This shall be decided later.
Day 6 in the Simpson Desert. We didn't even end up filming last night, as you saw in the last clip. We ended up in this very, very corrugated track, which we're still on this morning. We ended up actually camping on the track because we just couldn't do it anymore.
We lost light.
Lost light. It was just like, alright, no, let's camp here and give it a crack tomorrow. So it's basically 76 kilometers of the worst corrugation we've ever seen on our travels.
Yeah.
They just never stop.
It's an unnamed road that's never been graded before. I can see why it's unnamed. It's not worth a name, this thing.
Yeah. We're in much better spirit this morning than we were yesterday. We wanted to do halfway, and this is what we've got, 38 kilometers left to do. So we just like, we've prepared the camper as much as we can in terms of corrugation, and dropped air pressure yesterday, put them back up a little bit this morning because they were quite low. Hopefully it doesn't get worse, because that's gonna be a rough 2 hours. Christmas! Woo! Yeah!
Incredible.
Oh my god, the feeling of the asphalt on the highway after 7 days, 6 days of bumps off-road is just luxury. We made it! We made it!
Conquered the Simpson! Yes!
Oh my god, we're still a bit shaken.
Ready to eat.
Yeah, we need to eat, and then we'll debrief on the whole experience.
Alright, so time for a bit of a wrap up on our Simpson expedition.
So you would have seen those last clips. That track was horrendous. We actually didn't debrief straight away because we were almost traumatized by it. So just to give you a bit of context, if you do happen to do the Hay River track, it is the very end or the very start, depending where you do it from, which is between Battle Hill and Jervis Station. So yeah, that was...
Yeah, so I couldn't go anywhere near above 20 kilometers an hour because it was bouncing the truck up and down so bad, because it was sand, so they were soft corrugations, but they were so deep. And like it was just bad. You saw it. It was bad.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate because I mean, overall, we wouldn't do the Hay River track again. I wasn't a huge fan of the Hay River. I thought the Madigan line was so much more beautiful, especially the main section that we saw, which was in the Queensland National Park. Those two camps there were just spectacular, and what you think of the Simpson. Whereas the Hay, the terrain varied a bit, but it wasn't that beautiful tussock grass over red sand dunes. So in a perfect world, we would have done the whole Madigan line, but we needed to go north anyway. So it was still a really good itinerary that we did. If you want to go from south to north, definitely recommend that. But overall, the Hay River track is definitely not as beautiful as the Madigan.
Yeah, so just a few stats very roughly. We did just under 600 kilometers with an average of 35 litre per 100, which is quite high. Before us, we were happy with that. Surprised because we had some stretch on 4-drive tracks where worse than that. So yeah, that was good with so much fuel to the point that we only use our auxiliary tank. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was awesome.
And when we arrived in Alice Springs, we've been able to use our fuel voucher that we won thanks to Australian Frontline Machinery and thanks to all of you who have voted for us. So thank you so much. We had entered the Mod Challenge, the best before and after ex-Army vehicle, and Bowser finished #1. So $600 free fuel was an amazing way to end the Simpson.
Yeah, that was so good. So yeah, thank you again if you voted. That was really, really helped.
Yeah. So this is how we, I guess, end up our time around the Simpson Alice Springs. We've got a lot of exciting adventures actually around the Central Australia coming up. We found some pretty epic spots. So yeah, stay tuned in the coming weeks.
Cheers guys. Thanks again for the support.